Welcome back to the after show portion. Thank you very much for listening to the podcast right to the end. And don't forget to use the vocabulary list that accompanies the after show portion of this podcast. And today we were talking about extreme sports and extreme lifestyles. Let's talk about dangerous events in our lives. Can you think of anything that was particularly dangerous in your life?
I had many, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. One day I was like a kid. I was merely maybe 12 years old. And I was staying like on a hill watching the sunset. Then a man came nearby and he threw a whole fridge. A fridge, yes.
Welcome to Jackass.
Yes. And he left. And I thought to myself, whoa, this is like a strange idea came to my mind. I said, I'm going to empty the fridge from the inside, like those stuff, and use it as a tool to glide on the hill.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay.
And it was very irresponsible for me because once I did it, I found that I couldn't control it. And if it just like flipped, it just flipped, I could die. Yes, it was a very long hill, and
It's
I
like
did it.
soapbox racing.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of early stages of that. Yeah.
And miraculously, I survived.
And
I
you were
did.
alone. No friends
I was
around.
alone. Yes, I was alone.
Oh, that's
By
awesome.
myself.
we are all happy that you're here today, buddy. Yeah.
I was a stupid kid.
we all did like stupid
myself.
things.
Did you tell your parents how you spend your time?
I told them after years. Yes, my mom.
Fridge racing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool. So what else has happened in our lives that's been particularly dangerous?
I think in the childhood we all had some dangerous things that were not considered dangerous back in those days because we were stupid. Couldn't analyze these things. Like lots of injuries, lots of traumas. Yeah.
I wasn't that young when that happened to me. So I had like 3 accidents at all.
Yes, you've mentioned. Yeah.
And they were like a near-death experience. One of them was kind of serious. I was comatose for like 11 days.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. And I had like operations and everything. So yeah, I was kind of stupid then.
What did you do?
I drifted on a rainy night with my modified car and I was kind of speeding up and I lost control. Yeah.
That's definitely an extreme sport.
Yeah, that
for
was
sure.
cool. Yeah. And after that I had 2 motorcycle accidents, again, excessive speeding.
So which one was the comatose? Was that the drifting?
Drifting, yeah. I hit the light post.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Head on. It wasn't head on. And
What-
I drifted. I lost the control and I tried to regain the control by just pulling the handbrake.
Yeah.
Didn't work. All the rear brakes were locked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just slipped over and hit head on to the light post.
Damn.
Yeah.
So it must have been, so it wasn't like really high speed, but it was like the force of it.
The force, like it was in high speed, like 120 or something.
Oh, so that is really, that's, wow.
The engine block was on my lap.
Wow.
That's why I broke my leg. That's it.
Oh my Lord, that's insane.
Yeah.
100, that's so fast. Yeah, that's amazing that you're alive.
Yeah, everyone said the same thing. And yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you start to appreciate your life more since then?
I guess so. I'm more cautious. At least I'm not driving that high speed on a like wet asphalt or whatever. I
What
can't
about-
drift. I don't have that kind of car right now. Sorry.
What about the motorbike accidents?
And that was another
That was
story.
after or before?
That was after that, like 2
So you
years
didn't
after
learn.
the first one, and the
You
third
didn't
one
learn
was
from
like
it.
Lesson
4
wasn't
years.
learned.
Yes.
It was kind of okay. Why not? Let's try with the motorbike this time. So we have 2 wheels, a
Wow.
faster machine, and it didn't work out like I thought. So, but it was fun too.
That's a pretty nuts story. So you actually had like a near death.
Yeah. That's why. Remember, one of our podcasts was like on fears and phobias.
Exactly.
That's why I don't fear. I don't have any fear or phobias because I had it all.
Yeah.
As a lifetime phobia or fear.
Damn.
That's why maybe.
Serious stuff.
That's really extreme.
It is. It's very suitable for this
Yeah.
Yeah.
podcast for sure.
Exactly.
I have
Give me my medal.
Yeah, we'll make it and give it to you.
But thanks God you are with us here today. So
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Well, nothing so much like as you guys have been talking about, but I had a car accident, car crash. It was because it was like the slippery road, and here in Russia we need to change the tires
Winter
of the
tire,
car,
yeah.
like winter tires. But it was a Subaru, and it had summer tires, and it was like a person who was driving the car wanted to show off, like, I can do this and this. It was my Subaru legacy. It can do different like drifting stuff. I mean,
Actually, they can
November,
do.
slippery road, and so we just slipped away in the hole, near the road.
Never injured?
We were happy, lucky enough, подфартило.
Yes.
Yeah,
good
and
luck.
just a couple of broken ribs. Yeah.
Yeah, ribs. Yeah. I have one missing.
Oh, you got a missing rib?
Yeah, because it came out
Damn.
and just
Wow.
punctured or pierced my
That's
lung.
gore.
And that's why. Yeah.
That's gore.
And they broke it because they couldn't replace it back in.
Does that mean that you can bend more?
Yeah. It depends.
You became
get-
more flexible.
It depends, all right? So yeah,
So
but I can.
I know Marilyn Manson. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he removed 2 sets of ribs.
But mine is in middle. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you're not Marilyn Manson.
I'm not that kind of. Yeah, that will be interesting. That kind of thing. Yeah,
Fair
but
enough.
I have a middle one missing. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just still remembering this this accident. It happened like more than maybe 20 years, not 20 years ago, something like 17 years ago, but it was
Same.
extremely unpleasant. Yeah.
Trying to think.
What
Like
about-
empty road, winter, no other cars that could pull us back to the road.
road.
And well, I don't remember actually what we did. We called somebody, and somebody helped eventually.
Yeah. One day I also was like swimming in Algeria, and I didn't notice that it was a restricted area for swimming. Like they put red flags and everything, but I didn't notice. I just went for swimming. There was a trench there
Mm-hmm.
beneath the water, and that place, it has like a very strong current that can suck you in the trench. Actually, it was like really, like very hard to swim there. And when I went for swimming, I couldn't go back to the beach. I couldn't go back, and I felt like I was drowning,
the
and I was
current
pulled
drifted
in.
you, yeah.
Yeah, I was
Pulled
pulled
you.
in. I was pulled into that trench. Then a lifeguard saw me. I was struggling to go back to the beach, and he came and saved me actually. And they saved me with a rope.
No, he
With the rope.
threw your
Even
rope and just pulled it.
lifeguard didn't want to swim in that water. They gave me a rope. And they
This is
were,
your job, man.
yes,
Come
yes.
on.
And you know what is surprising? What is funny? It wasn't far from the land.
Oh
That's
my.
but it's still dangerous because there is a trench there.
Oh
So it's like a
my.
whirlpool almost.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly.
Look at that
Damn.
lifeguard, man. So they
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
threw the rope instead of
Yes, yes.
saving him.
Of course, yeah.
Budget lifeguard, yeah.
Because if he went in,
Part-time.
if he went in, if he went in there, so it could be the same destiny for him.
That's why
Yeah.
he. Mm.
That makes sense. Damn, that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of,
Well, speaking
what
of
about,
water-
what about you?
Well, speaking of water, actually, I believe my dad had a really scary story. He went to Nepal when he was,
Nepal.
Nepal?
with my mother, and I believe he was, I don't know the exact details, but I think he was on a raft
Mhm.
and he got sucked under into a whirlpool, and people thought that he was going to die and drown,
Wow.
but luckily he resurfaced. Another thing with my dad, actually, I don't know if I mentioned, but he was almost in Brazil's worst air accident.
Oh, really?
I think we mentioned this before in another podcast. Maybe it was the alcohol podcast, but he
Doesn't
had
really-
a ticket for a flight between Sao Paulo and Rio. It's like a very frequent flight.
Uh-huh.
There are like at least like 10 or more a day between the two cities. And he was at the airport. He thought, oh, let's have a beer, let's relax, let's get on the next flight.
And he missed it, huh?
Yeah, he was able to exchange tickets.
Uh-huh.
And he exchanged tickets thank God.
Miraculously.
So beer saved his life. Otherwise, he would be completely dead.
What was that accident? Avianca accident?
Not the Avianca, no, it was TAM. So
TAM.
Yeah, TAM. And it was, it was awful.
One of the deadliest, right?
Yeah, everyone died.
Yeah,
it was awful, man. It was awful. But yeah, I know the Avianca one.
Yeah. That was also a big one.
But for me, I mean, I've had some, I mean, maybe not near death. Well, maybe I have. I can't think immediately. But I had a little funny scar on my arm because me and my brother, we were playing around the train tracks nearby where we lived. And in England, the train tracks are completely fenced off.
Mm-hmm.
And the fences have these spikes at the top of them. They're called 3 spikes because they, it's kind of hard to describe.
Barbed wire.
It's kind of like barbed wire, but at the top, the tip of the fence.
Like a razor sharp.
It's razor sharp and you have a kind of like a fork, which is like this. It's kind of hard to explain.
I've seen them before. I have seen those before.
Yeah, just type in 3 spike fence on Google.
Mm-hmm.
And we jumped over the fence.
I will.
So my brother jumped over the fence, no problem. And then I jumped over the fence and
you
I felt exactly. It was really strange. It did not feel painful.
You felt the warmth first.
But then I noticed that the top of the fence had like punctured like my arm really deep. And thank God, nothing that bad happened, but there was all this yellow pus like coming out. It was really deep.
Mm-hmm.
It was really deep, and I still have this scar, and it was big, and yeah. So don't jump onto the train tracks.
Did you get stitched there?
No. Just left it.
Back in the days, if you didn't
just
need
left
that.
it.
You didn't confess to your parents.
I didn't want to tell my mom, so I just cleaned it up, and it was a pretty nasty scar actually. And then at school, oh God, there was this abandoned. I was pretty naughty at school actually. There was this abandoned.
Hard to believe right now.
There was this abandoned like building at school, an old abandoned science lab at my school. And for some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to punch the fish tank.
Okay.
No fish inside the fish tank, but it was just like this fish tank. And I punched it. And of course, like
and
I completely
broke your knuckles.
Yeah, it's like somewhere here. I have a lovely scar. So don't punch a fish tank. Don't jump on train tracks. Don't.
Think before you act, let's say. Don't drift the car on rainy weather area, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I got in fights at school as well. I guess that could be considered extreme, but nothing life or death necessarily, just punches and stupid stuff like that. Yeah. And then what else was extreme? I wouldn't classify this as extreme, but as a teenager, I used to love throwing wet toilet paper at cars.
Or eggs. Yeah. Eggs rotten tomatoes.
Exactly.
Yeah. We did the same thing.
And then we'd run away from angry drivers. It's really funny because some drivers would really take it personally. Mm-hmm. Like if someone threw wet toilet paper at my car, I would just say, okay. Karma from my teenage days, whatever.
They're horsing around, yeah.
Stupid idiots. But
what if they scratch your car? For example, a friend of mine had an accident like a couple of days ago. Somebody scratched her car like all the way, like 4 parts of the car. And I was trying to calm her down, like maybe it's just teenagers having fun. Of course, she didn't find it fun.
No, and when you own a car, your perspective completely changes. It becomes like one of your babies, as you might be able to attest to. But yeah, as a teenager, I used to love doing naughty things, especially as a skater. When with my friends, we used to do all sorts of stupid stuff and get chased around.
And it was fun, right?
It was so fun. It was a great way to spend your teenage years.
Yeah.
But yeah, ran away from a lot of security guards. Luckily, I never got arrested, thank God. But we ran from the police a few times.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Would it be fun?
To get arrested? I think you can consider it as a fun experience.
Do you know what? It's happened to my brother, actually.
It's another experience.
But it's quite funny. He did something really funny, actually. Maybe I should. Okay, all right. So he and his friends, they were on a plane in Brazil, and his friends are like rugby lads. They like to have fun, and for some stupid reason, they decided to take off their clothes on the back of the plane.
Okay, and they were arrested when they landed.
Exactly. When the plane, but they weren't doing like perverted stuff or anything. They just were like,
outrageous, actually.
Yeah. And
it was outrageous.
The plane landed. The Brazilian police walked onto the plane, and he got thrown in some Brazilian courthouse, and he had to beg the courthouse and please, we were just being stupid. And I think he had to pay, like he had to beg my mom for like $1,000 or something.
Wow.
For bail,
to bail.
For bail him out. Okay.
Yeah, it was. He's such a funny guy, my brother. He's a real troop. My brother has definitely had some more extreme stories. He's a real adventurer.
I would like to meet him. Yeah.
Oh, he's a great guy. Yeah, really interesting, successful guy.
Like,
he's fun.
does he watch the podcast?
Maybe he does. Yeah, maybe sometimes he's checked out a few episodes, I'm sure. I know my mom is a very avid listener of this podcast, but
hi to her.
That's a story. Yeah. That's a story.
I guess you could call it an extreme sport, taking off your clothes on a plane
to blow off some steam.
At least it's an extreme hobby, not maybe sport, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or we also had a friend who did a naked run in England for charity.
For charity.
It was really funny. So my brother's friends are really funny, actually. They're cool guys. But they decided to run, I think it was like 5 miles completely naked in London.
Oh.
Of course, that's completely...
without being cold.
Well, basically, so some of them got away with it.
Okay.
And they made money for charity, which was really good. But they literally ran through the city naked.
Was it
naked
like
and barefoot?
No, with shoes, actually, with shoes. But that would be another dangerous thing. But 5 miles, that's a long way. That's like, what is it?
How many kilometers?
8 kilometers, I think, something like that.
Right, yeah.
So they completely naked, and they wrote on their chest like for charity or something. And they took a video, they filmed the whole thing, which was the best. And
how can they raise money and funds for this?
Because they asked their friends, give us money.
It's kind of sponsor backing,
us,
right?
Yeah, sponsor us, and we'll give money to charity do it.
And they went drinking.
But it's a strange way to raise funds, you know?
It was a great, because it's unique, because not many people...
Original, you know?
I mean, it is illegal. It is illegal, but still. They weren't being perverts. They would just do it because it was funny.
Yeah, of course.
They were... And it was really funny because on this video, there's this really funny black lady stopped her car and said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my God, you need to get clothed up."
You pervs.
It was so funny. But his friend, my brother's friend, did it as well. And he filmed everything. And he was inspired by them. And the police arrested
because of the footage, right? They have evidence.
Well, not the footage, not just the footage, but the film was so funny because there's this song. I don't know if you know it.
It reminded me of a song of Blink 182, I guess.
Not
so maybe
Blink 182,
Offspring.
But there's this famous song. Do 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 do. Do you know this song?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know this song. Yeah, I can't remember where it comes from, but the video had this song, and then he ended up getting arrested by the police afterwards. And the police, luckily, they didn't charge him with anything big, but they said, "Okay, if you do this again, we're going to put you on the sex offenders register."
That's really serious.
Yeah,
something that you don't want to be in your registry.
Yeah, exactly. That can be very serious.
It can be, yeah. So luckily he did it because he's not a pervert in any way. So it would not make sense for him to be. But it was so funny. Oh God. So I guess that is some kind of extreme. It wasn't life or death, but
in another way.
There was a movie called Something in the Dirt.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Yeah, science fiction. And one guy was actually arrested for being accused as a pedophile just for peeing outside.
For peeing?
Peeing outside. He was taking a piss outside, and a kid approached him.
Oh,
and he was trying to go away, And a police saw him,
Oh,
and he was
God.
accused of this. Yes.
What a
as
night.
pedophile.
Wait,
I
wait, so
mean,
it's
Look
just-
at your
in
face.
Russia, it's like
It's something normal.
it's something that I see almost every day, even in the winter.
File charges.
extreme sport.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they are doing. They are practicing extreme sports
Yeah.
Yellow snow.
Peeing in cold weather.
against the wind.
You know how they make skate films? Maybe you should make like peeing film. Maybe not.
Or Jackass movies. They're kind of
Jackass
extras. Yeah.
was a favorite. It was
I'm a big fan of them. Yeah.
it was an inspiration as a
Yeah.
child. It was, oh God.
That was, yeah.
Did you watch Jackass?
I heard about it, but I was never interested in
Oh.
watching it actually.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Skating and stupid stunts
They
and
did-
burning, vomiting and everything. That was
Definitely
all combined. You know.
18 plus for sure, but it was
That was good.
amazing.
That was good.
Yeah. And also,
But
we
if you are 18 plus, why would you be interested in watching it? Just
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was amazing
amazing,
TV.
yeah.
It was amazing.
when you were teenagers.
It
yeah?
was first aired on MTV, right?
It was MTV
and
actually,
then they made the movie deals and everything, right?
and then you also had Dirty Sanchez. Have you heard of Dirty Sanchez?
And Bam Margera's
Yes,
uncles
Bam
and everything.
Margera.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to watch these shows,
Yeah.
but Dirty Sanchez, it was Jackass, but they took it to the next level. Actually,
Yes.
they were really brutal.
Extreme, yeah.
Some Welsh guys,
Yeah, the Britain from,
yeah, Welsh guys, and they like stapled themselves, stapled all sorts of body parts to stuff.
all
and,
the body parts, yeah, including,
Oh,
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember
great for
that.
your English skills, really. I mean, if you have if you have the stomach for this material, I definitely recommend it.
Lots
But,
of free time you can
yeah,
watch.
I mean, from a language learning perspective, it's gold.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wild
it is funny.
Boys. There was
Wild
also Wild
Boys,
Boys,
yeah.
right?
I think that was another MTV.
Steve O and Chris Pontius, I guess, the same
Yeah.
same crew.
Steve O, he's
yeah,
a celebrity.
He's extreme, right?
Yeah,
He's
I think he
extreme.
wrote I think it was a biography he wrote recently. And he's a fascinating person because
yeah,
he wanted to
stuntman.
be a clown.
Mhm.
He went to clown school and he did take a lot of drugs, so he's not like a role model.
Yeah, teenagers.
But yeah, I love how he got a tattoo of his face on his
On his
back.
back. That was a great detailed tattoo, but yeah, what is the point? And checking on the mirror. Yeah.
But yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely engaged in extreme sports. But the Jackass films, they were amazing. And
We missed being a stunt. Do you think being stunt as an extreme job?
a stuntsman, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
of course, of course it's an extreme job.
It's interesting. Maybe this profession is disappearing right now. It's dying out
Yeah.
because of the CGI.
Yeah.
And so everything can be done in the studio. I guess almost everything. So
Yeah.
probably
don't
stuntsmen are
need
kind
real
of
people, yeah.
redundant.
Well, let us know in the comments if you'd like to be a stuntsman, and maybe you have some funny, dangerous stories that you'd like to share with us. But yeah, so you can practice your English skills. Let us know if you've had a near-death experience or if you did stupid things as a teenager. We would love to hear.
Yeah, that would
And
be
don't
great.
be shy. We're not shy. So
Teen
don't be shy
spirits.
yourself.
Yeah.
Spill the beans. Wonderful idiom.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening right to the end, and we'll see
Thank you,
you
guys.
next time.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.